The Mandalorian Season 3 has begun. While the first episode only had about 32 minutes of actual screen time, there was a lot packed into it. I know 100 YouTube channels have come up with other videos on the Easter eggs of The Mandalorian Season 3, Chapter 17, titled The Apostate. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is take one of those Easter eggs and expand upon it. And that tidbit will be the Purrgil. If you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, then you may have no idea what the giant creatures are that Grogu sees in the hyperspace lane. So, for those of you who do not know, they're called Purgil, a type of space whale squid thing that can travel hyperspace naturally. Don't ask me how they survive the vacuum of space, and don't ask me how they breathe, because I don't have a clue. We have discovered that there are microorganisms that can survive the cold darkness of space. But Purrgil are complex life forms. But maybe space in the Star Wars universe is a bit different than our own space. I guess the physiology of the Purrgil really doesn't matter. Not when a lot of things in the Star Wars universe are physically impossible. For instance, sound in space. Anyways, the Purrgil show up in Star Wars Rebels Season 2 as an introduction. Then again in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, this time with purpose. Ezra Bridger summons the space whales to his location, where they then wrap themselves around Grand Admiral Thrawn's fleet and launch into hyperspace. Since that moment, the whereabouts of Thrawn and Ezra Bridger have been unknown, but I have a feeling that's about to change. Before I go on with the importance of the Purrgil and the Mandalorian and beyond, a quick word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. I'm on a quest to hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'd like you all to be a part of that journey. I know you hear that from every other YouTube channel, but hey, this is freaking Star Wars, baby. Who doesn't love Star Wars? I know you do. And I promise to give you the best Star Wars has to offer in a positive way for as long as I make videos. In other words, I keeps it real for a very long time. Okay, now back to the topic. So I'm going to do this a bit different. Instead of giving you some thoughts and details leading up to the idea that I'm presenting, I'm going to just outright say the idea. That way, those with less time to watch the video or less of an attention span can go on about their day. And for those of you who want more on the subject can continue watching and see why I came to this conclusion. And that conclusion is that the Purrgil are going to lead Din Djarin to Ezra Bridger and Thrawn. Or if not Din Djarin, then Ahsoka, and so on and so forth. But I'll get into it. Or at least they will be shown to the place the Purrgil dropped Ezra and Thrawn off. And this will set up the hunt for clues to their whereabouts. In other words, the tracking will really begin at that moment. Okay, that's the conclusion. For those of you interested in the rest of what I have to say, let's go. When the Purrgil were first introduced in Star Wars Rebels, they were seen as a nuisance, or at least that's how Harrison Dula and the others of the Ghost Crew described them. Weird parallel, isn't it? The life forms they used to study and learn hyperspace travel from are now seen as a nuisance. They got what they wanted from them, and now they want to kill the beasts. It's a whole mindset thing. Look at our own expansionism and even that of our whaling industry. But it took Ezra Bridger connecting with the Purrgil through the Force to understand that these aren't lumbering idiots. They are sentient life with families and structure. They have feelings and emotion like other life forms. But even during Season 2 of Rebels, the Purrgil were just another side mission. Filler, as some would call it. Then we get to Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, and who comes to the rescue of the rebels on Lothal? The filler. I mean the Purrgil. Bada bing, bada boom. They take the threat far from the battle and Ezra Bridger with them. And no, Ezra and Thrawn are not dead. Yes, the viewports were smashed by the tentacles of the Purrgil, but Star Destroyers have shields to protect the occupants in case of such an emergency. Even if that weren't the case, remember the sound in space bit I talked about earlier? Yeah. Okay, back to it. When we saw the Purrgil in Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, it was seen as filler at that time. However, we now know it wasn't. Turned out that Ezra used his connection with the Purrgil to call for their help in the end. But hindsight's 20/20, right? Okay, let's move to another seemingly disconnected Star Wars series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. When Bail Organa is talking to Princess Leia, he tells her he once dreamed of chasing Purrgil. Wait, did he mean chasing them as in like swimming with dolphins? Or did he mean hunting them? Interesting. No, he's Bail Organa, a good man with the best interest of every living being at heart. Leader of the rebel movement, proud father to Leia Organa. But then again, he didn't say he was flying with the Purrgil. He said chasing them. Bail Organa's a murderer. I'm starting a campaign to stop the illegal hunting of Purrgil. Sheesh. Okay, I got sidetracked again. Sorry about that. All of Star Wars is connected. Yes, it's a vast galaxy, but from what we have seen so far, it's all been connected. Obi-Wan Kenobi leads to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is then connected to Grogu, and so on and so forth. Bail Organa didn't mention the Purrgil at random. He mentioned them as a foreshadowing for other series. We already knew that the Purrgil took Ezra and Thrawn by the time of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but it had been years since we heard anything about them. Bail Organa mentioned the Purrgil for us to keep them in our memory. Did it work? Well, when Bail Organa mentioned chasing them, what was your first thought? Was it about how they travel through hyperspace and are majestic creatures, or did you think of Ezra and Thrawn? For me, it was Ezra and Thrawn being spirited away from Lothal. So last year, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series helped keep the Purrgil alive in our mind, refreshing us. Let's move forward to The Mandalorian Season 3, Chapter 17, called The Apostate. When Grogu sees the Purrgil flying through hyperspace in a lane next to the one Grogu and Din Djarin are traveling, what's the first thing you thought of? Was it that they are majestic beasts who develop hyperspace travel naturally, or did you think of Ezra and Thrawn? Well, I'm now making a video about it, so it's obvious that I thought of Ezra and Thrawn. But why? Purrgil exist in the thousands or millions maybe, I'm sure, and we only saw a handful of them in Rebels, and even fewer in the hyperspace scene in The Mandalorian. Surely, they can't be the same Purrgil that took Ezra and Thrawn. That's a likely scenario. I'll give you that. But these Purrgil are put in place to foreshadow what's to come. Like Ezra, Grogu has the ability to connect with sentient beasts. He did it with the Rancor in the Book of Din Djarin. The Book of Luke Skywalker. The Book of Boba Fett. Jeez, I can't get that title right ever. But when we see Grogu touch his cute little bubble window, is this just saying that he's in all of them and wants to touch space glass? No. When we want to connect with someone on the other side of a glass, we touch that glass in hopes that they'll touch it too. They kiss the glass, lick it, whatever. You be creepy you if that's what you are. But Grogu is doing the same. No, he isn't licking the glass. He's reaching out to the Purrgil. He sees a majestic beast and he reaches out to it. After he reaches out, Grogu's ears lower and he ducks down into the cockpit with Din Djarin. Maybe it was just meant to be another cute Grogu moment if we take it at surface level. But maybe the Force showed Grogu something that he didn't understand, and it possibly even scared him. Being a Force sensitive, just as Ezra was, the Purrgil could sense Grogu's connection to them. Grogu then got a vision of events that transpired before. Not understanding what those events were, he crouched down to the safety of his father, leaving it for a later episode for us to understand, making this scene not one of fan service nor an Easter egg, but one of meaning. So far, most of Grogu's role has been one of cute moments. He's saved Mando a couple times in cute moments, but it's never really been explained as to what his larger role is going to be in The Mandalorian and beyond. This would take Grogu from just being the cute merchandise seller to having a significant importance in the Star Wars universe. Sure, he's the son of Din Djarin. Din Djarin loves his son, misses him and all that, but there's something bigger coming. Finding the location of Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn through the Purrgil would be huge for Star Wars fans. Now, not only are Purrgil important in Star Wars Rebels, but also in The Mandalorian and the Mandoverse as a whole, and maybe even the whole story of Star Wars. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If I'm wrong, so be it. I've always taken my licks with stride. But I am going to start a new organization called PETP, or People for the Ethical Treatment of Purgil. This barbarism has gone on too long. I know that sounds like a joke, but it really isn't. Whale hunting is a serious problem in our own world. There are laws in place, but some countries refuse to implement those laws, and the demand for whale parts is at an all-time high. Just because they can't talk to us, it doesn't mean they're soulless creatures put on this earth for our own benefit. Okay, I didn't mean this to become a preachy video. Sorry for that. Let me know in the comments what you think of my theory. And before you go, a word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. I'm on a journey to hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'd like you all to be a part of that next phase of this channel. Until the next video, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way. And positivity in the Star Wars fandom is the only way.